Hi guys, we're looking at the ton coin or ton coin, Wyckoff analysis as well as daily trend, a relatively young coin for ton, and what we're looking at here is the weekly chart where ton is at around like the third test or the second test after the selling climax basically. So these orange tags represents the accumulation cycle of the Wyckoff method. The blue ones are the basically the distribution cycle. So here, after selling climax back in March, we saw automatic rally late March, and eventually it came down during mid-April, and now late June for another two tests. So in other coins, if you look at or if you have seen my other sessions, there can be multiple tests during the accumulation cycle that can even go lower than the selling climax. Currently, ton coin is fortunate enough to have their test pretty much above the low point during the selling climax back in mid-March. So we'll expect some ups and downs to follow before eventually it comes to a new distribution cycle again. So pay attention to the development of the coin, no matter it's ton coin or other coins. So I mentioned in a couple of other sessions earlier, saying like even if it's during the accumulation cycle, presumably for like a mature stock or like a reliable corporation, then it may be fine, or like even precious metals, like people will keep on using, industries are going to keep on using. It's fine to get in during that time a lot of times, but for crypto, remember it's still a developing industry, so a pretty young industry, even though Bitcoin has been around, well, we're counting towards 20 years, it's 2025 now. It came out around 2009, so it's only a few years time that it becomes 20 years old. So having said that, something like ton coin is still pretty young, a couple of others as well, even though when they first started they looks very promising, they've got a lot of partnerships, etc. Keep observing that, look at the developers community, any other things like competitors or new chains coming out that's going to eat into their market share, all those things, including security, you know the free, like the trilemma elements. So long story short, don't FOMO in just because the price is low. So that's it. Back to the resistance and support level. Support level, obviously this white line that I already touched on, that's around 2.65 roughly, I guess. Remember, it's always a range. So there's a weaker, not weaker, maybe, yeah, a little bit. Like we can still take reference of this wick over here at around $2.35. There's only just one reference, so that's why I said it's a weak support. So if the price really wants to come down, or like the invisible hand really wants to push it down, it can go below this line. So that's one possibility. And then resistance level, the first one obviously would be around here. We see multiple candles even all the way back to February. So let's change it to yellow. That's around 3.45 or $3.5. This has been tested many times over the past 6-7 weeks already. And how about the next resistance level, the second above the yellow? It would be around this preliminary support and also the top, near the top of the automatic rally. That's around $4 roughly. So usually these kind of numbers, like without decimals, say $1, $2, $3, $4. $5. These are psychological anchor points. So it's normal that people set their orders around those like units. So that's why we're seeing this orange resistance line over there. So we'll keep observing these 4 lines and see what's going to happen next. Presumably, if nothing crazy happens, the accumulation will likely happen between the yellow and the white line. So, daily trend. Like I said, it's pretty much trading between those 2 lines. I haven't looked at the daily view. We're watching this together, so that's exactly what I've covered already. But then, if I have to draw a trend, like a shorter term, if anyone is interested. So, sorry about having to change the interface. I'm still new to not using this tool, but using this for these sessions. So sometimes I forget to change it back to like shrinking my webcam. So here, that's what I was talking about. It's pretty much trading between the yellow and the white lines, and this downward trend currently we are observing since around beginning of the month. I would adjust this a little. It's not as steep as this. Yeah, so roughly this over here. So if I extend this further, okay, let's see what happens when the price comes to this white. So previously the price poked through this blue box. As soon as it touches or went slightly lower than the white line, it got pushed back into the box. So that's what we're going to continue to observe. Remember all these center lines with the playground zones that I draw. Currently we're trading at the lower half of the box. So immediate breakout above this center line would be about next week, roughly. And if the price, if the center line doesn't hold, isn't able to restrain it like what's happening over the past 6-7 days, if it does go outside above this orange line, then the next one would be here near the middle of or the 3rd week of July, where there is a potential to either break outside of this box or break below this white line. So the first opportunity would be in 1 week time. The next opportunity would probably in around 3 weeks time. So it depends on how things evolve in the world, around the world, what news can potentially push the price up or down. So it all depends on the news as well as where the invisible hand wants the price to get to, right? So we've covered all the points, the current Wyckoff stage, the support resistance levels, as well as daily trend. So in 2 weeks time we'll come back to Ton Coin again. Thanks for joining me today. See you tomorrow.